Hello, Instagram, live on Instagram as well. And I'm on my Facebook platform on my business page. So let me put my AirPods in. Make sure my volume is up. Okay. Hello, as you coming in, make sure you hit the thumbs up on Periscope. Hit those hearts. Instagram and Periscope, share with your followers. I just so happened, the first platform I just so happened to get on today was Instagram, because I'm not on Instagram that much, right? I don't really log onto Instagram that much. And I mean, just so much knowledge dropped. Let me make sure my mic is on. Can you all hear me well on YouTube? How is my sound? Periscope, thanks for coming in. Thanks for the digital love. Everyone, give me a sound check, okay? Let me know if you can hear me well. Hello, Romy Rome on the tube. Thank you, Periscope. Facebook, how's the sound? Good afternoon, Lee Brown. YouTube, you need to let me know if my screen is a little blurry, because I recorded. Thank you so much. My sound is okay. I recorded yesterday on YouTube, and I went back and looked at the video, and for some reason it was blurry. So I made sure that I kind of wiped my camera lens off. Make sure everything. Hello, I have someone on Instagram. My Instagram was so deep. I tell you, like I said, I'm usually not on Instagram, and that's why I decided to log onto Instagram today. Okay, thank you, Tiffany. The screen is good. And I logged onto Instagram first thing this morning, which I normally don't do. And hold on, let me adjust just a little bit on YouTube. Hope I don't mess up my image, my camera. I hope it doesn't get blurry. So YouTube, let me know if I'm still good. I just want to point it down a little bit, because sometimes any movement, it'll be a blur. So let me share this, my page. Give me 1 second. Okay, and so it was a little blurry, and so I'm just trying to make sure I'm good on the tube. Yeah, it is. I don't know if you can hear the rain in the background, but Mississippi is a tornado was spotted in the Yazoo, which is probably like 30, 40 minutes from me. Right. Yeah, so I wanted to go ahead and get live now. How's everything going in California, Rick, today? How's the weather in California? Is the screen still good, YouTube? But back to Instagram. So I got on my platform, Instagram, first thing this morning. And man, it was deep. The first thing I saw was the coronavirus Barack Obama video, and it had on CNN how many deaths then of the coronavirus, and Barack Obama, President Obama at that time, speaking about a pandemic that we could face in 5 years or the next century. Okay, good and sunny. And the pandemic, this airborne virus that President Obama was speaking about, hit exact date of 5 years from that CNN media clip. I thought that was interesting. I tell people there is nothing new under the sun. Everything is strategically planned, right, and executed. So don't think, we are just at a point in America where we don't, as our current president says, it's an invisible enemy, right? They knew this years ago. So that was interesting. Okay, lots of earthquake and but it's good and sunny today. Okay, that's good. Yeah, so we do have tornado warning here in Mississippi, and hail and storm. And then my second video that I watched on IG was Michael Jackson, right? A clip from Michael Jackson. I did not know Michael Jackson was such an advocate for the Black and brown community and himself as a businessman. So it's the second clip of Michael Jackson speaking about that he had just outsmarted Sony Productions or outworked Sony Productions, and he had 50% ownership of the business, and they wanted to destroy or kind of, bad advertise his recent album through Sony as a result of that. So I didn't know Mike had 50% ownership of Sony Records, right? So I'm on Instagram. I'm like, man, Instagram is just a rabbit hole of information. I need to be on there more, right? And then the other video that I watched or tuned into was Nipsey Hussle. And just hearing the Nipsey Hussle, Nick Cannon, Dr. Sabi, concept, and, Nipsey Hussle speaking about cryptocurrency. And I think that was it, I think, on Instagram. So Instagram is a rabbit hole, just wealth of information. So that's why I'm live now on Instagram as well. I need to build my platform there. But also, real quick, let's get into JP Morgan, and I post this on my Facebook as well as my YouTube channel, the actual article. But JP Morgan now is requiring a 700 credit score and 20% down payment, right? For if you want to be a homeowner. So let me repeat this. JP Morgan is requiring a 700 FICO credit score, the new mortgage requirements, and 20% of a down payment for your home purchase. So this is even without the FICO 10 coming into play, coming into existence, right? And so, I've been saying this, and I told you all in January, I said, don't be surprised that around this time, around April, you're going to hear more people start talking about credit again, right? So you're going to hear more people. Yeah, you read that today on Periscope. More people talking about credit. Rick said, yes, they are. More people wanting to revert back to credit that had, went away, because I also did a video not too long ago that there were not many YouTubers talking about credit anymore. And the YouTubers that were talking about credit as far as AU Tradelines, they have ceased, right? They have been muted. And now they're going back to the let's do it right credit repair method, where the AU Tradelines are not being pushed or promoted anymore. And the people that are pushing and promoting AU Tradelines, I think they're trying to get their last couple of sales before FICO 10 becomes official, right? Before the FICO 10 becomes official in July, right? And so and that's why I'm telling you all, yeah, you can see my mic. That's why I'm really informing you all that you definitely don't want to get AU Tradelines at this time. The AU Tradeline game is over with. It's done. Capiche? Because FICO 10 is going to look at your 2-year credit history, not a 30-day or 60-day snapshot of you being added to someone's credit card good payment history like they did in the past, right? So Instagram, I see that you all are coming in. I'm really trying to build my Instagram channel more, go live more Instagram. So will you all make sure you share this with your followers? Same thing on Periscope, right? Chase Bank has already got a number of repos. Rick, are you mean repos in the housing market where you have to be? Yeah. And see why it's big. Thank you, Facebook, for the digital love. Why this is big that Chase is announcing this. You all have to know the history of JP Morgan Chase. They are the biggest lending bank in America. Yes, thank you for the digital love, Facebook. They are, JP Morgan and Chase, the biggest lending bank in America. YouTube, I need you all to hit those thumbs up. YouTube loves its algorithm. I only have 5 at this point. So let's get more people in here to know what you can do to better your credit and cash flow situation in these crises, right? In this crisis. So you all slightly hit the thumbs up. The algorithm loves it on YouTube. And so now without, thank you, music lover. Thank you, the Phoenix 23. Temporarily delete or hide or remove is more of the word, remove negative items off of your credit report if you claim that you are a victim of identity theft and in actuality you're not, right? And so what that would do if you are claiming to be a victim of identity theft is it will temporarily remove those accounts that you are claiming that you have been victimized under in order for the credit agencies to do an investigation. And it temporarily hide, okay, I sure will check my DM. It temporarily hides or remove those negative accounts. I don't want to say hide, but remove those negative accounts from showing on your credit report until that investigation is completed, right? So a lot of people were paying thousands and thousands of dollars on this. It was removed within 5 days. Because remember, just like when you call, it's buffering, storms up. Please be careful of that. Okay, I'm buffering on YouTube. I don't see anything that says buffering on my end. I'm good on my side. I mean, if I can show you the window, it's not even raining. I wish I had a woman like you, Easy, and share the rest of my life with Easy. So you all let me know if I'm still buffering on YouTube. Somebody comment for me because I'm not getting any type of signal. I'm not getting any type of signal there. So hold on for a second. Let me.
Hey, how you doing? So you like you help people get better credit, Miss Lady?
I do. Okay, they're saying we're good. So let me do all the talking. I'm on 3 different platforms. Okay, so they say I'm good. My Facebook is building. I do that Periscope. So now, right, if the Chase Bank is doing this and they're leading the way, it went from like requiring a 620 initially to 640, 680, right? From 620 just to a couple of weeks ago to 640, 680. Now it's at 700. So I was live yesterday and someone asked me, what do I think is a safe credit score? And that's why my response was, I've heard some people telling people a 680. I told them yesterday, my response is what I think a safe credit score was a 750. And this was exactly why. Before this information came out and was released today, this is why I told you a 750. You know, some people tell you 680. I'm at 750 strong. Not only because you all have to realize we're in the midst of the biggest wealth transfer in history, the biggest wealth transfer in history. And banks, I told you I've been saying this since January, banks are going to do a credit freeze come July. They've already implemented it because this is the time where the rich get richer. And this is why 99% of the population never get rich because they never use their credit to get assets. Let me say that again. This is why 99% of the population do not get richer. That's why 1% of Americans holds 98% of the wealth. because the middle class and the poor do not use their credit to attain assets. They use their credit to attain liabilities. And I was forewarning you all in January that you need to get your credit fixed then, because I knew the FICO 10 was coming. And you had some naysayers that say things like, oh no, FICO 10 won't be here. They never adopted the FICO 9. That's not true. All of you all coming in Facebook, hit the thumbs up. It's only 11 right now. That was not true. The FICO 9 was adopted by Wells Fargo, Navy Fed, Penn Fed, all the credit unions that you need to get that credit obtained, because I also state that credit unions is where you want to be in financial crisis, because they lend more than banks, right? Credit unions do not operate under the same guidelines as a bank, right? And I'm getting a text message. I want you all to know I do take Sundays off. And please don't try to call me on a Sunday about business. I do take Sundays off. I do not take phone calls from non-clients, right? Meaning that if you are a client of mine, we can get on the phone, but you have to have equity in my business. So there are some people who state, well, I need to talk to someone on the phone first. If you're not invested, if you have not even did your credit audit and invested the $75, we can't coerce in business together, right? And so Easy says, once the virus is gone, a lot of people jobs will be gone, causing a lot of homes going to foreclosure, repossession, also cars. Yes, the middle class is gone. It's wiping out the middle class and the poor. And have you all ever thought, what is this going to do for election? Like if, for example, in Louisiana, a lot of the death rates that are arising seems to be from a lot of people who will probably vote Democratic. I'm not saying they will, but they might, you know. So have you ever asked, what would this do for election in November? And the invisible enemy is wiping out and causing these death rates because radio action waves through 5G works from the outside in, right? And people's immune system is not built to handle that. And the invisible enemy also is creating AI jobs, artificial intelligence. So some jobs that are gone will never return again. That they would never return. A lot of jobs that are closed down right now, they are installing 5G to incorporate artificial intelligence, right? And so, yes, it's $75 for a credit analysis and credit audit. And then, we do the communication from there. So I want to go live. I also want to go live because yesterday I was speaking about going live for the home-based business. And I often mention just credit repair, but it's so much more than credit repair. It's a recession-proof home-based business. Now is not the time for you to try to build an ark or build a boat in the midst of a storm or build a boat on water. You need to know whatever business that you are starting in this season and at this time, that it is recession-proof, that it's recession ready. Let me say it that way. It's recession ready. And people, I am overwhelmed with credit from the beginning of this year up to this date. It's recession ready. And that's why a lot of people are signing up with the home-based credit repair business, but it's just an entity. It's just a component. Credit repair is just a component. It offers opportunities to, if you still will have, and the people that still will have their jobs and incomes is not being replaced. Give me a second. Come on. I think my light is on a timer or something because every now and then it just cuts off. That these people, a lot of military people, a lot of essential employees, these people need to know the legal ways to get taxed less out of their paycheck legally. Because you all do understand that with this stimulus package, right, taxes are going to increase. And your tax year next year, filers in January are going to look totally different in 2021 than they look now, or that they did look for this year in 2020. Because the more money is circulated, the higher taxes go. So you have some people that will not have tax strategies or tax shelters in place. You can get my services at www.fixmycreditandcash.com. It's Credit Help Book Online. And so, with that being said, you need to be aware of what business you are building right now. Is it recession ready? Right? Will it make you income? Will it save you on taxes? Can it give you? We've had people that had did nothing but invested the 129 special that ends midnight tonight, Eastern Standard Time. Eastern Standard Time. I hope I'm saying it correctly. Yeah. And their first thing was to get their paycheck checkup. The paycheck checkup was the very first thing that they did. And people have been receiving military testimonies, $800 or more out of their paycheck. This is so you get that back when you join the business for 129. Just getting your paycheck analyzed. See, I listen to Robert Kiyosaki a lot, and what Mr. Kiyosaki says is that the rich will never be taxed. He said a lot of people push for tax the rich. He said the rich will never be taxed because the rich know they have tax shelters. They protect their money from being highly taxed. And they don't work for money. The rich work for assets, right? The rich work for assets. They invest in recession-proof businesses. So that's the first thing, the first component that comes for the business at 129, special that ends at midnight. And I'm saying 129, I mean $129, people. So you have the money max, and then you have a credit max to improve and restore your credit, all for 129. And it's 10 different ways to get paid. It's 10 different ways. And so one way, for example, to get paid is you may find other people who want to be a part of the business as well. And so now they become a financial director under you, right? Or you get customers who want credit repair business, or you get customers who want the paycheck protection component. And then the third thing is the money management course. Now, I know you all think you know how to manage your money. I know you do. I know you say all I have to do is spend less than what I make, but there is more to that. First of all, you got to know how to keep more of what you make through taxes. Taxes is the number one expense that people pay, and the middle class pay, and they don't understand that. You don't understand that. Look at your check stub. And a lot of check stubs have went to digital, right? They went to digital where you just have to log online to check your check stub because they want you to subconsciously not get used to looking at your taxes that's been taken out of your check, right? Collection agency. Someone asked, YouTube, is collection agency a recession-proof business? How much will you have to invest to start a collection agency business? Griffin on YouTube, how much will you have to invest to start a collection agency business. And I'm really waiting to see these numbers, because I don't know any business right now that this recession proof is this, that you can invest $129. Some people have spent that on Easter baskets and hard-boiled Easter eggs and plastic eggs and put money in eggs for their kids today. So let me know, how much of an investment will it cost for you to invest in a collection agency? Me, morally and ethically, I would never invest in a collection agency business, because I know the law and I know that they illegally collect debt from people. Most debt collectors and collection agencies illegally collect debt from you, consumers, from people. Now you might ask me, how? Why? How do they do that? Because they never have proper validation. Most collection agencies collect debt from consumers or people because people do not know the proper way to ask for debt validation. They think debt validation is asking, are you legal to collect in my state? Is the amount that I owe, say, is what you say I will owe? And then when they send you an itemized statement in the mail, of, especially with health collections, they'll send you an itemized statement of your health services that have been received, which is totally against your Health Privacy Act. Then you think, okay, this done deal. So I'll just pay $5 a month on this debt collector, so they won't take me to court. And you have just put yourself in a $5 monthly payment to pay back hundreds of thousands of dollars. And those are services I offer as well. Debt collector validation services. Because people do not want to invest in quality services. They want to Google everything. And that takes your time and it takes your money in the long run. Because what happens is, when you ignore debt collectors, see, most people don't know this. 95% of collection debt is collected by default from the courts. Not because they have the legal rights, but because you don't respond, or you do respond, but you respond in the wrong way, right? And then they have the right to subpoena you to court. Here's some music or something in the background, or maybe something my daughter has on. And now when you're subpoenaed to court, either you don't show or you do show and you don't know the law. And so now they have the legal rights to garnish or take you to court for your debt. How much are my services? You will have to go to my website. It's www.𝒞𝓄creditandcash.com. Once I log off, I will put the website in the link. My services, consulting services, prices are not the same for every client. No one has the same credit report. No one has the same credit issues. So no one should be charged the same price, right? So that's how everything is customized when it comes to my credit consulting. So what does 129 obligate you to? Well, number one, to have a recession-proof home-based business. It obligates you to 475 tax deductions legally, which, maybe you came in late, but I stated that, I think the glare is coming from my small YouTube camera, but my webcam. But I stated earlier that the number one thing people do not invest in during times like this is a recession-proof business. So number one, it invests you in the business. And number two, if you still have an income, it allows them, and even if you don't have an income, right? If you have a 1099 or some other form of income, it will still give you tax deductions on your 1099. Most people have immediately, that still have a paycheck coming in, join the 129 services, and by IRS consultants, approved professional consultants, have been able to increase their paycheck and immediately got the 129 back. So this is the quote that I had on my board yesterday that said by John D. Rockefeller, is that I'd rather earn 1% off 100 people's efforts than 100% of my own. Right? I'd rather earn 1% off 100 people's effort than 100% of my own. It also puts you in a private Facebook group where you are in a mastermind of people that have your same mentality, and you can receive income, right, off of the efforts of other people and not just your own. It also helps you keep and maintain good credit and helps you repair and restore minor credit repair issues. It has a credit max pro component of it as well. 5G says, what if I want to train to be a credit repair specialist? Will it help me? It will help you. It will not give you the intellectual knowledge. The credit repair component is also 𝒞𝓄e, under the 𝒞𝓄e Act, Credit Repair Organization Act guidelines and rules. They have professionals doing that for you as well. Everything is did by certified professionals with this group. So it's not teaching you the business, it's providing the business services by professionals. And then the Money Max program is your detailed debt elimination plan. For example, and then let's I hate that this circle is showing, but let me see if I can adjust this. Hold on. I think that's helping a little bit, not a lot. Well, it didn't help a lot. So I'll try not to write on the bottom part of this board. But on the bottom part, it says, rich people buy time, poor people sell theirs. Right? Rich people buy time, poor people sell theirs. That's the number one thing I'm trying to get you all to understand. So let's break down the different types of income, because most people don't understand this as well. Most people do not understand this. There's only one type of income that most people know about, or that I might as well turn this back around now, or that people participate in, and that's earned income. And this is where your specialists, your doctor, your lawyers, people that get up and go to work every day, if you have a job, this is the type of income that you invest in. What people don't know is this the highest tax income. Anywhere on the low end of 15% out of your paychecks, all the way to 40%. It can be anywhere from, I don't think I've seen anything 15%, but it's usually 20 to 40%. So that tax income as an employee is the highest tax income that you can earn, right? So then you have passive income. And passive income is income that cash flows, right? Passive income is income that cash flows. This is what this business opportunity can get you. Now, there are many ways to earn passive income. Is income that you continually earn when the work is done. And see, people don't want to take a time to get an education. This is the main problem of financial education. People want, they don't think a 129 investment can bring big returns. And that's the farthest thing from the truth. Now, the person that asked me about investing in a collection agency, they never gave me back the numbers of what it would cost to actually invest in a collection agency business, right? So it's income you continually to earn after the work is done. So some ideas that you can get passive income besides this home-based business for 129, you may not know, YouTube videos or some way. You got real estate if you buy and hold. But real estate can also be looked at as passive and residual income as well. This is another form of passive income that the poor and middle class do not take advantage of. But as the credit queen, I want to let you all know about this as well. Cashback rewards from credit cards. Have you all ever heard of that as a passive income strategy? Cashback rewards from using credit cards. Using it just like you would your debit card, paying everything that you would buy with a credit card that offer cashback rewards, but using it, right, instead of your debit card, like your debit card, not to buy liabilities, right? Then you have dividend stocks. Those are passive income strategies. Ebooks, right? The only thing about passive and residual income when it comes to real estate is that it may be passive, right? But not always residual. So let me write this. Residual income may be passive, but not always residual. Meaning that if you have a rental property and your tenant leaves, then your income leaves. Or if you have dividend stocks and the company does bad, then the dividends can stop. The dividend payouts can stop, right? But certain things, credit card cash rewards, passive. You do the work one time and it's done with. Ebooks, building a business. The business I'm telling you all about, 129. Everyone in July, they're going to be 40 million Americans whose credit scores is going to drop. But on another note, it's going to be 40 million Americans whose credit score is going to increase 20 to 40 points. But it's going to be 40 million Americans whose credit score is going to drop 20 to 40 points. All because the algorithm of the FICO 10 is changing, right? And then y'all playing 𝒞𝓋𝓒𝓒, I think I got it right. He told me he had a French name. He said he got in before this special. Don't miss out on this great opportunity. Thank you, 𝒞𝓋𝓒. He's my business partner as well. And you all don't understand, just being in a private Facebook group and mastermind when people are winning in the midst of this crisis or recession is a whole different investment within itself. Sometimes we invest in everything except our mentality. If you are hanging around 5 broke people, or 5 people that's unemployed right now, or 5 people that's complaining that they haven't gotten their $1,200 stimulus check, or 5 people that jobs may not return, then you're going to be the 6th person. You have to hang around people who look more like where you want to be in life and can continue to give you that positive mindset and can continuously help to make money during this time. I'm not the math specialist, 5G. You are asking some good questions. It's not $1,548 a year. If you get 7 customers out of the 40 million people, the credit scores that would drop, who just want credit help, for example, for $80 a month, then it's free. There's no home-based business opportunity that I know of that you can get over 475 tax deductions from the business entity, from being under that business entity, and at some point it's going to be free. Or you can get 3 people and it's free, meaning 3 people who will want to join you in business as well. And once they join as a financial director, you is nothing, no cost. But $1,548 a year, if you do nothing but get it today, is going to be a tax deduction for you come tax time. So you're still going to save thousands. Now you have to ask yourself about the Money Max program. How much are you going to get out of your paycheck every month? You can get $200 a month extra once you correctly, the IRS specialist correctly adjusted your W-4 all the way. People are getting $800 a month. And those are just with, and you're maintaining your credit services and the Equity Max program to help you get a debt elimination plan. Because some people think, I don't need a plan to get out of debt. Yes, you do. Because debt freedom is not always financial freedom. That's the biggest myth that there is. Let me tell you something. If I had a $25,000 cash right now, and I had a $25,000 debt, or I can take the $25,000 and invest it in something that I know for sure will work. So 129 of that would go towards this business because I know what's forthcoming in July with credit. The signs are already here. I don't know if you came in later in the video, but I talked about JP Morgan has already set the JP Morgan Chase have already set the bar. If you want to acquire a new mortgage, you got to have a 700 credit score and 20% down, right? So then if I know what's coming ahead, why not get on board then if you know FICO 10 is coming? If you know there's going to be a hot business, right? Hotter than July, then why not get on board for $129? See, a lot of people think if I got the cash to pay off this debt, I'm going to pay off the debt. That doesn't help you create cash flow. I want to be debt free when this, global recession hits full throttle. Being debt free is not going to stop those bills from having to be paid. You still need cash flow if you don't have a job. If you don't have a job and you are debt free, meaning you don't owe a mortgage, you don't owe a vehicle loan, you're still going to need cash flow because you still got lights, water, gas, cell phone, right? These bills are going to have to be paid. So debt free does not mean financial freedom. And we have groceries and gas prices that's going to increase in a couple of weeks. Gas prices are going to increase because the production of crude oil with the OPEC agreement was cut. So you can expect these gas prices to spike. And grocery prices are already spiking. I saw here in Mississippi a 12 count of eggs for $3.75. Normally $1 and some change for a 12 count of eggs. So now farmers are saying that they're not able to farm in farming season, which is April and May, because of this pandemic. So what do you think that's going to do for grocery prices in June, or if not sooner? So you're looking at this as how much it's going to cost you and not how much it's going to make you. And that's the wrong mindset. See, the first thing you got to have to get out of this recession without struggling is you got to have a money mindset. The business that I'm speaking of is home-based credit repair, Money Max, and I'll put that link in this as well. Business that you can do from home. Equity Max, a debt elimination plan. See, when I was looking at getting out of debt, for example, and it's the difference between debt and credit. When I was looking to get out of debt, I had two choices to make. For example, I said, okay, either I can pay my car note off in full, right? I had two choices to make. I said, I can pay my car note off in full, or I can pay my credit cards. See, a lot of people think debt elimination is just, I'm just going to pay off. I'm going to do the snowball effect. No, it takes strategy in this. So I said, okay, if I pay my car note off, I would get more cash flow because the monthly car note payment on that was $500 and something a month. So it'll bring me extra cash flow in. But if I pay my credit cards off because it's revolving debt, and my car note was installment debt, then it would increase my credit score. So at that point, I didn't need my credit score to be increased because I didn't have an investment that I wanted to make with my credit score. See, use your credit to get assets. Credit and debt are two different things, right? Debt takes your cash flow when you don't use your credit correctly. Credit brings you cash flow when you use it to purchase assets. Credit and debt are two different things, right? And so then I said, okay, my credit score is already high. I'm good. So I chose the extra cash flow. Now the extra cash flow can pay the credit card. But you wouldn't believe that how many people get the snowball method of paying down debt, and they choose to pay off the smaller debts first because they say it's a psychological thing, but they have no strategy behind it. Right? And some people choose to pay collections out first. And which if they had a strategy behind it, they can save thousands in collections. You can save that, especially medical collections, right? And so now you have your next type, two more types of income that you don't learn in school, right? Is portfolio income. So can you all tell me what portfolio income is? You can put that in the comment, whether you're watching this live or in the replay. What's portfolio income? And all of these incomes I've listed, passive and residual, is tax. I am not trying to follow CJ Matter. Yeah, well, you follow CJ Matter method and you do what John D. Rockefeller did. John D. Rockefeller says, "I will if you want to follow the Madam C.J. Walker method, do what John D. Rockefeller said. I'd rather earn 1% off 100 people efforts than 100% of my own." Portfolio income is not real estate or stocks or bonds. Well, it can be stocks. I take that back. And it can be real estate. No, Periscope, it's not 401k. I think 401k is the biggest scam. But anyway, you work hard for your money, then during an economic reset, when the stock market crashed, they take all of it back, all your gains back. For people that don't know how to move their 401k into a cash only before the stock market crashed. You are absolutely right, Mr. 5G. And I don't want to say the C word because YouTube might demonetize. I told you all another form of income is through YouTube. So anybody that was saying the C word, they were actually taking money away from them. So that's why I don't say the C word. I say health epidemic or 5G. Capital gains, absolutely right. So you got your capital gains right here. And this can happen if you're selling if you don't hold real estate, you flip it, you sell it, right? And then portfolio incomes, if you're a day trader or forex trader in stocks, if you trade, you get capital gains, right? That's why I tell people, if you're going to order my silver stacking report, then you need to know what silver will not get capital gains tax when you buy. Because again, remember at the beginning of the video, I told you that's the number one wealth stealer. It's taxes. It's taxes. So any portfolio income is anything that you buy low and you sell high, right? You buy low and you sell high. So that's portfolio income. And then, Mr. 5G, we get to the other type of income, which is royalty income. And this is what I plan on getting before I leave here to build generational wealth, because royalty income not only just come from arts, the music, on albums, songs, binge watching, but it also comes from intellectual property. And that's why I don't teach my my credit strategies right now until I get that trademark where I get it copyrighted. And that's where a lot of people miss out on, because they have $1 million ideas and they never get a trademark. They never get it copyrighted, so they can continue to get royalty on their intellectual property. But the problem is most people only know about earned income. So when you come before them with a business opportunity to get passive or residual income, they are skeptical. They're afraid. They don't know that a third of taxes are taken is the biggest wealth killer. What comes out of your paycheck? That's why the US dollar went from being certificates for gold and silver, physical gold and silver, to paper printed currency, because gold and silver cannot be taxed. You don't believe me? Go buy you some. You get no sales, no tax on gold and silver because it's real money. It's what the Constitution states is real money. So now paper currency has been changed to notes. And the notes say, I owe you. What do you owe that person? You owe them real money, gold or silver. So that's why paper currency went from stating that this is one silver dollar, a silver certificate, or one gold dollar, one gold certificate, to saying this note is a legal tender for our debts. It means I'm going to give you this and I'll bring you back the physical silver or gold to pay for this transaction. People, when we have an economic reset, that gold and silver is always used in the accounting system. Did you all know that? They always have to go back to real money. And with the government printing out thousands and thousands of dollars of paper currency and digital currency, let me look on the US debt clock and look at the gold to silver ratio. They always have to go back to gold and silver because that's real money. But a lot of people chase it. They're still chasing it from their jobs. And that's why you're getting taxed, because they tax your labor. United States is a corporation. It's a business. They tax you on your social security number. But if you change your social security number to a home-based business or EIN, employee identification number, and you can enroll in the business under your social, but you get all the tax breaks and benefits of a McDonald's franchise, for example, right? And I'm telling everybody, you need to know, if you have money right now, you need to know where this economy is going, what type of business you need to invest in. I got Kayla and where's 𝒞𝓄𝓒 on the line. They can tell you our private Facebook group is just motivating. For the last 2 hours, they have been doing marathons and teaching about this business. So while you're missing out on an opportunity over $129 investment, you could be in the private Facebook group learning about the business right now and hearing testimonials until midnight, because they're just doing this marathon up to midnight Eastern Standard Time. And they're rolling it every 2 hours. And so back to, let's see, they're on right now, extra digit MR stimulus weekend. I need to be on live now, but let me look at the US debt clock today. The dollar to silver ratio, when I did this last week, it was at $1,900. It's at $2,347 per ounce. $2,347 per ounce. Gold, the dollar to gold ratio, wow, it was at 18,000 last week. It's at 19,453. So what if you just joined the business and got the cash max did first and found extra money out of your paycheck just to invest in silver? Because right now it's still under $25 an ounce. if you know that the government is printing so much money that we're going to have a currency reset, and gold and silver is like a, let me see. I got some of this because this is what I used to teach my students. I did financial literacy for high school students. So I had this in right below me. And I told them the paper money today is just like monopoly money. It's no different. And so gold and silver is like a sponge that had to soak up all this debt that the government is printing or transferring. And the government also has a repo market that happens overnight too, where it's digitalized. So it transferred this. And I also teach my students that you need to get financially free in life. If you have acquired bad debt, now you need to change your mind from acquiring bad debt to using credit to get assets. I teach them in Monopoly, try to get you 4 houses, rental houses, that's going to produce you residual income, because real estate is the only real asset that has been upholding for years, along with gold and silver, that has increased in value. And I break it down to my students in high school that I teach. And I'm saying this for a reason, because I have to teach it to adults as well. That the reason why real estate, if you know the numbers, right? If you know how to analyze a deal, will always be a great investment, is because real estate is the only thing that can provide you with food, clothes, and shelter, land. And you know what? I forgot to mention this. Royalty income is also for people that have land, that have minerals in their land. People have purchased land, and there have been oil on their land, gold, silver, minerals. You purchase a lot of land, a lot of land, LOT, or acres of land, and you strike it and find gold on that land, you are set for life. You have royalties for life, royalty income. And so the problem is the average person only know about one type of income. And they don't understand taxes is stealing your wealth. And they don't understand all of the other components of a home-based business. And so again, people, this ends at midnight, 1:29. I have to get off because I'm planning on having credit church tonight to teach on the topic is why you can tithe and still be broke or live paycheck to paycheck. I'm going to break down tithing in the Bible because we're supposed to be blessed. You got it? Okay, it's in that black box. It's my daughter. And being broke and tithing and living paycheck to paycheck should not coexist together. It's an oxymoron. So people, I just wanted to let you all know, Kayla Bennett, and my daughter named Kayla just stepped in. Kayla, I got another business partner, Kayla Bennett, Mr. Williams on. They have signed. Phoenix 23 said, yes, ma'am, financial literacy. The regular price is $100 off right now. The regular price is $229. And they did this to stimulate your economy, right? Kayla Bennett said, hey, Kayla, you want to come on camera and tell her, hey? She said she not looking good, Kayla, but she gonna it's that camera. That one. There she go, Kayla Bennett. I see. You like me, had to kind of put on the glasses to see. Huh? Yeah. Okay. So she's so sweet. Kayla know I be working and she know I go live, and she just went out and brought me something to eat. So yeah, because a lot of people are signing up for the business opportunity. And I have a lot of people that I'm doing their personal credit consulting. And I have a condo that I'm investing in, getting ready to get residual income to a tenant on top of all this. And it's another and I actually have communications from an Air Force base to do a credit repair partnership for the people in the Air Force that I have a meeting and I'm getting prepared for on top of Credit Church. So get prepared for Credit Church, getting condos. I'm getting condos over cars. I'm using credit to get assets and not liabilities, right? So that's my time on IG. Let me log off. 𝒲𝒽𝓃𝓒e, spelled just like Scottie Pippen. I see you. Access the video. I will put the link when you upload. And Periscope, send me an email if you want to go ahead and start that business, because the link is pretty long. And this is my email. It ends at midnight Central Standard Time. And I will give you the link to enroll, and you'll be a financial director. And first thing I tell people is get that Money Max program. You still got a paycheck. Get the most you can get out of it. Thank you so much, Rod J. He says, Shalom, Queen. Thanks for responding. A timely matter with the information. Yeah, I usually take Sundays off. Okay, Phoenix 33 is in. Thanks. I usually take Sundays off just to. Let me tell you, I know I'm kind of rambling. I watched the Clark sisters. Was it the Clark sisters? This morning on Lifetime. That was awesome. So I watched that on Lifetime. I usually take Sundays off. Just, even Jesus said you need to remember that you need a Sabbath day, right? He took one day to rest, but it's really go time, people. And I know people are going to face some financial difficulties if they're already not doing ahead. And if credit wasn't a good business to invest in, I'll be the first to tell you, but it has been a blessing, nothing but a blessing to me on top of my cash flow. And where I really want to get to with Credit Church, I want to get it intellectually trademark. I'm in the process of doing it so no one else can use their name. But I really, after I teach people on how to get prosperity, how to be prosperous, how to be stunned like your daddy, I guess. That old song, Stunned Like My Daddy by Lil Wayne, your father, which is God. Most people, they need to understand, Deuteronomy 26 said the tithes are supposed to go to the widows, the foreigners, the fatherless, the single women, and also the Levite. But, is your Levite doing the work that they're supposed to do in the church? Is the church managing the funds the way they're supposed to manage it? In Matthew 23 and 23, it also says the pastors and the priests supposed to tithe. Is your pastor tithing that you give your tithes to? See, that's how prosperity works. That's how God's prosperity works. It's a continuous flow. It's always give and take. It's not just giving. It's not reciprocated on one end. And did you all know, for example, I'm already having Credit Church in a sense, that money management was taught more in the Bible than tithing and prayer. Did you all know that? Money management, right, was taught more in the Bible than tithing and prayer. And did you all know that tithing in the Bible, the Old Testament, was from the land? It was from food, grain. People gave their, and that's why Malachi, I'm already having Credit Church, might not need to have it later on. Malachi chapter 3 says, so there can be meat in my house, because the Levites, and Malachi chapter 3 was for the priests and the people. Now, it was for the Levites, and it was for the children of Israel, only the children of Israel. And God said, I want meat in my house. So you all need to bring your crops. You need to bring your food. You need to bring your grain, bring your fruit, bring your olive oil, bring your wine. Yeah, they drink wine. Lamb. And did you all know, I put this on my Facebook page. What scripture was that? That it said that when you tithe, let me look on Facebook, that you are, I got to get to share this with you. When you tithe, that you are supposed to convert your tithe into cash, which was then translated to silver. Let me get the right. Deuteronomy 14 and 25. that you are, it says, then exchange your tithe for silver and take the silver with you and go to the place of the Lord your God will choose. Use the silver to buy whatever you want, like cattle, sheep, wine, fermented drink, or anything you wish. Then your household should eat there in the presence of the Lord and rejoice. You're supposed to tithe to yourself, and it's supposed to be in 2 Corinthians, you don't supposed to be forced or feel like you're sinning. God said, I love a cheerful giver. And there comes a point, people, where you need to be giving from your abundance and not your lack. You need to be giving from your abundance and not your lack. So what I want Credit Church, my vision for Credit Church is to have it, especially during these times, for people that were tithers in the church that have not been taught these money principles, but we have an account set aside where people that have abundance can give. And if these tithers, now I don't know how I can really identify you as a tither, right? But if these tithers are behind on their bills financially, that Credit Church account can be used to give to people during these times in need. Now, I don't know how I'm going to identify if you're a tither or not, write your pastor. I don't know. But that's my vision. I don't have time to implement it right now. But I want to do in Deuteronomy 26 what the tithe is supposed to do. So we don't have pastors now that are doing what the Levites were doing. The Levites were in the temple all day and night, serving nothing but the house of God, while the people were out working in their fields and agriculture. And oftentimes it's not the case. Even Paul in the New Testament said that I'm worthy to accept, because if I give you your spiritual things, then there's nothing wrong with me receiving your natural. But because I don't want to misconstrue, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with the pastor getting the tithe, because there are some good churches and good pastors out there. There's some a church that right now that's feeding 900 families in Florida, right? But what I'm saying is, God said, in every good house, there's gold and there's silver, there's wood and there's brass. There are some churches that are not operating that way. And people are in bondage and they are given to. And they want to know, why am I not living that abundant life? God said, I wish that you have life and have it more abundantly. That means not only through your finances, but through your health and your emotional health as well. So yeah, Creative Millennial, read The Richest Man for Babylon. So many gems in there, just basic money management and wealth management. Exactly. You got to learn basic money management, people. You have to. Some people still went spend Easter money today, and that's not the spirit of Easter. You're supposed to celebrate the resurrection, and you still dying eggs, and you don't know if you're going to have that stimulus check or a job. The good thing about it, though, a lot of people didn't go back spend hundreds on new Easter outfits. Retail stores were closed, but you got to learn what's a good purchase and bad purchase, and the difference between an asset and liability. Hey, I'm signing off. I put the links in for you to join that business when I log off, add you to the private Facebook group. You need to send me a friend request on Facebook. Thank you, Periscope. I'm preaching. Thank you. Somebody say amen. Rod J say amen. Amen means so be it. Right? So I'm signing off. Got to get back on my laptop. Got to serve these people who have paid for their credit audit. I got to work on Sundays. Tomorrow I got to deal with the condo. But hey, I'm giving my tithe, which is my strength right now, in my time. Tithing is more than just financially. Giving is more than just financially. It's a lot of people that serve in churches, different positions. And unfortunately, they don't even know what to do with themselves now, because I tell people, if you feel disconnected from God because you can't go in a church building, and you don't have a real relationship with him anyway. I'm a person that's about science and spiritual. Yeah. And, a lot of people use that scripture that says, give unto God what belongs to God, give unto Caesar what belongs to Caesar. How many of you all give God time in prayer? How many of you all meditate to hear his voice, to tell you what moves to make? Is this a good financial decision? Is this a good health decision? Right? Am I making a good investment? Is this where you want me to do? Is this the answer to my financial situations? A lot of people think prayer is just talking to God. They never stand still to let God talk to them. A lot of people mumble and jumble. Oh Lord, we thank you. We come together, and they pray, and they don't ever take time to hear what God wants them to do. That's all they do. They pray for a dog and pony show. Yep. And it's just a dog and pony show to make people think they're good in prayer. Let people hear, So you never, and Joshua said, if I meditate on his word, you have to learn how to meditate and hear God's voice. You have to hear, you got to have a calmness in your spirit. Do I need to, is this what the opportunity I need that's going to help me financially in a couple of weeks? Do I need to take action now? Do I need to make this investment? Do I need to start this? This is one of the questions I had to ask God during my divorce. Should I start this credit repair business now? I had to learn to hear God's voice. I didn't brand my name. People brand my name. People branded me the queen of credit. I didn't do any of that. It was all God. It was all him. And I would never go away from talking about him in my business. I won't ever. And I won't ever go away from teaching people financial principles from the Bible. And I'm going to say this, and I'm going to close because I'm very passionate. I don't do credit repair training. I understand you like to be a specialist. I talked about that I don't have my original work trademark. Really don't have the time to do that right now. Trademarks takes a year-long process. So I'm not teaching anyone my strategies, but I'm helping people. If you know people that need credit repair, to have a credit repair business, and then you can make residual income from that. Right? So that's what I'm doing. So I'm not teaching. I don't have the time. Rich people buy time. Poor people sell it. I don't have the time. I don't care if you tell me you'll pay me $5,000 a day. I wouldn't give you justice. I've had people say, I pay you $5,000. I pay you $10,000. If you teach, I don't have the time, and I'm going to protect my intellectual property, right? That produces generational wealth. I'm not just going to put my letters and language out there in a law for a one-time sale. So, yeah. That's it. But I'm going to say this, and I'm closing, just like Credit Church. I had an aunt. She struggled. She paid her tithes faithfully. She passed away, and she was a school teacher, and I'm pretty sure she passed away from stress. It was stress. Not on her job, but always living paycheck to paycheck. She paid her tithes faithfully. But because she was never taught or understood or took hold to money principle, she struggled for years. And it got to a point where she got in a financial rut, and she had to get a loan from the church that she was tithing to. Now, I don't know if this church did not give her the money because they felt like we'd given it to her before and she mismanagement. She didn't have any, no drug problem, none of that. Just didn't manage money. I always wanted to rent, did a lot of rent to own type things, just, the mindset. And I wonder, why do you have to take out for a loan from a church that you're tithing to? But like I said, I don't know the full story. She's not here today to tell it. But I do know that's what I know. Now, I will hope that maybe she taken out loans before, and, maybe it was too many times, and or she had borrowed before, and it was getting maybe habitual, and they say, hey, this time it's going to have to be a loan. But I get so tired of hearing preachers preach about how church members want their bills paid. But then in times like these, when the lights, water, and gas is not even on, you're still asking people to tithe to pay your church bills. And so a lot of churches don't have money management system themselves. Like the church is probably feeding 500 families. I'm pretty sure their mortgage is paid off. So then the church should teach you how to pay your mortgage off, right? If you want to be financially successful, you have to be under that leadership that's teaching you financial success principles, just point blank. People can't take you where they don't know where to go, or they haven't gone themselves. And so you have a lot of people that give and shout. I think about the slave trade, where they had the men in the slave trade, their form of exercise, they kept them below the ship, and they had to dance, and they whipped them, and they made them dance. And then the women, of course, was above ship. They was used as sex slaves, and they were also cooking and doing all this stuff on the ship during the slave trade. So the women were able to get sunlight, vitamin D, and all that to keep their immune system safe. And a lot of that has been passed on to the church, where people jump, shout, dance, and they get no deliverance when it comes to finances because they've been taught. Sometimes you got to stop dancing to the music and stop and face the music and see what you're doing wrong. And the Bible is the perfect #1 financial book for anyone that wants to be not stressed financially. It's this #1 book. It has too many money management principles, right? Yeah, they're not teaching money management principles. So how I'm signing off is, I've had Credit Church already. Once you join the business, send me a friend request on the Facebook group. All right, I put the links in there. Thank you so much. You all make sure you hit that thumbs up for me. Facebook, you share too. Periscope, share this as well. I'll see you all in a couple of hours. Let me watch Lifetime while I'm doing credit work as well. Signing out, Queen of Credit. Here's to your health, your wealth, your peace, and your prosperity, and your credit and your cash flow. See you in a couple of hours. Okay, there's the end stream.